turn this on mute. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 24 of the ELF Live Show. I'm your host, Silas Ncita. I'm joined today with my co-hosts, Nick, a.k.a. Nauf, and my boy, Alex Malcho. We're jumping in, talking about week 2. We had an amazing week 1 in the ELF. And I'm excited for these matchups. We got some great games this week. Nick, what's up, bro?
What's up, Silas? Good to be back on the show with you, and great to have our man Alex Malchow here. Like you said, we got an awesome week 2 on the slate for ELF football. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Week 1 gave us some blowouts, a few blowouts, but a few really close games as well. Really exciting. Level of play seems higher than last year, and we got some great games to look forward to this weekend.
Fantastic. So, hey, guys, real quick, and hey, in the chat, everybody, we're going to do a quick little recap. We're going to check out last week's score. On Monday, Alex and I had done a recap show where we went into a little bit more depth. But, Silas, we didn't get a chance to get your thoughts on the scores from last week. So, Maxie, can you put these back up for us? The scores from week 1 right here. Alex and I got to dive in deep on these ones. But, Silas, what anything jump out to you?
I mean, I pretty much called. I think I went. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 7 games. I was 5-2. The biggest shocker was the blowout, I think, with the Surge and the Ravens. I was definitely expecting the offense to do a little bit better for the Munich Ravens, and I was a little disappointed in them. But I understand it's a brand new coaching staff, really, and they got some building up to do. And then my mercenaries, man, they had the lead and they let it go. I'm disappointed that they couldn't get the win, but everything else predicted pretty much. You can go back and watch it on episode 23. I predicted all of those except for that Surge Ravens matchup. Man, I was disappointed. I think the next matchup they have, it's going to be a lot closer.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. The Surge had so much continuity from last year. All the same coaches, nearly every single same starter except for one on offense, and then a lot of starters, and then a couple improved players on defense. So they had a lot of continuity. And then the Ravens, of course, bringing a new coaching staff. It's going to take a little bit of time. I think we're excited for the rematch on that one for sure.
And there was one more thing, Nick. One more thing I was thinking about. The Surge are coming off a championship loss. They were the last team to play in the league last year. When you come off with the championship loss, you go into the offseason with the most motivation. The Ravens, they finished their season before that. They've been kind of cruising. The Surge had that taste in their mouth. And their last game they played was in a big stadium. So they had a major edge on the Ravens for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the Surge, ended 2023 with a bad taste in their mouth, and they went crazy in the offseason. And so they kind of got to hit the ground running, whereas the Ravens are still trying to kind of piece together this new coaching staff and roster and everything. One thing I was impressed with, just another little shout out, Alex, we talked about Nathaniel Robitaille. He looked pretty damn good in that Vienna Vikings Enthroners game, don't you think?
He sure did. Him and Jack Mangle had a nice chemistry going, completing some deep passes. I think Roby could have a big game against Cologne this weekend, and we might see the Enthroners pick up a W. I think that's going to be a really good game. So the Enthroners looked a lot better than last year. I think that's one takeaway moving forward from that game.
Yeah, for sure. Just before we move on here, did any of these games, what would you say was your guys' favorite one to watch from last week, week 1?
Oh, for me, it was Wrocław versus Berlin Thunder. 88 points. There was several lead changes throughout the game. Exciting touchdowns with just seconds left in the half with the Aaron Jackson kick return touchdown, and just back and forth. It felt like maybe a Big 12 game or something where there's a lot of scoring. And it was the most fun I had watching football in a while, watching that one.
Hell yeah, that was great. Silas, what about you?
I agree 100%. That was by far, to me, the best game, back and forth. I think we all wanted to see how the Panthers were going to play, because we talked a lot about them in the offseason. I think they showed out. I think the Panthers are going to be for real this year. I'm excited to see what they got going on. They got a good ownership over there. They're doing the right things. I was impressed with Prague. I got to give props to Prague. They really they looked better, man. Maybe it was the uniforms. Maybe they got out of those ugly orange uniforms, and that was the difference maker. But 31-21 is not bad to the Hamburg Sea Devils, man. I think Prague is on its way to doing something good this year.
Yeah, man. And that's what Alex and I talked about that on Monday, kind of the two teams that a lot of people consider probably the bottom of the Eastern Conference, the Enthroners and the Prague Lions. Both of them looked much improved coming into this year. And so props to both of these teams. You said, Silas, that you think the Panthers are up there. They're one of the most legit teams. Speaking of being up there, our friend and colleague Tim Hansvillemenke recently put out, within the last 1 hour, his updated power rankings. Chat, you guys, let us know your opinion in the chat here. But we're going to each just give our thoughts here on Tim's updated power rankings. Start with you, Alex. What are your initial thoughts to this?
Yeah, I think it's brutal to knock the Thunder down 3 points. I would have knocked the Ravens down a bit further. In my opinion, the Thunder impressed me, especially in their first game with a new quarterback and some major roster changes. They still have Aaron Jackson. They still have Robin Wilczek, and Jacob Sullivan looked pretty good for his first game in a new uniform. So that would be my biggest takeaway, is maybe dropping the Thunder too low.
Silas, what about you?
I don't like Paris being over the Panthers. I agree. We don't even know what they can do yet. The Panthers looked really good. They beat a really solid Thunder team. And to Alex's point, if the Thunder should be more around 7, then the Panthers should be more around 4. And I don't know, man. I've been you know me, I was a huge Ravens fan in the offseason. I still am a big fan of the Ravens. I love who those guys are. But I think this year might be a little bit more difficult because they got a brand new coach. And I've been out in Europe. When you get a brand new coach, it is tough to keep that same stride that you've been going. So I would bring the Ravens down, bring the Panthers up, probably bring the Thunder up a little bit as well. Raiders, you can't really talk much about them. I mean, they beat Milano, which like everybody expected that. So I'm surprised that the Sea Devils are below some teams that haven't played yet. So I can make my own. I'm sure Tim's got his reasons.
Yeah, Tim. In the chat here, someone says Fire still at 1 is a joke. They looked not impressive at all. It's interesting. I don't think I would go that far saying they looked not impressive at all. But Alex and I did talk about that maybe at least in the first half of that game against Cologne, there was a championship hangover. And then what's interesting to me here is if I look down at the bottom of Tim's power rankings here, I feel like Prague definitely deserves to be above Milano and actually Helvetic as well. To me, Milano was the least impressive debut on the season. So I would definitely switch that around a little bit.
Yeah, we know Tim has this all the descriptions and his reasons for the rankings on the site, but I don't know what reason he has for dropping the Mercenaries. I thought they played a good football game out there against a Dragons team down to the wire, and I would definitely put them above Prague and Milan personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like the chat agrees as well. I mean, hey, Tim, I'll be curious to read his reasons on his website or on the website. You can check those out, but yeah, I can't agree with that. There's a couple ones there. I think the interesting ones are the teams that we didn't get to see play yet: Frankfurt, Paris, and Madrid. And we're going to talk about those teams and their matchups. But what do you guys think? Do you guys, I mean, moving Frankfurt up with them having not even played, moving Paris up with them having not even played? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, I guess. Maybe it's not so much them moving up as other people moving down, and so that naturally brings them up. You know,
true. Good point.
But to the point about the Fire, I don't think if a team hasn't lost, you can't take them out of number 1. That's my argument for leaving Ryan Fire at number 1. until someone proves they can beat them, you can't really take them off the top.
That is a good point. I mean, even if you're a little bit less impressed, quote unquote, with their wins, I do think that I got to agree with that. Like, unless they lose a game, or unless there's some sort of drastic situation, I don't think that you can bump them until they get beat.
Yeah, I mean, the Surge maybe made a push too for that number one spot. Their win was very impressive, but like you said, maybe the Rhine Fire is still on the mountaintop, so to say, and the Surge still just at second place now. But a very important win they pulled off in week one, dominant win. So, I can see why people are maybe hinting that they're number one.
There we go. So that's kind of Tim's power rankings right there. Tim does these every single week. I'm sure there'll be a lot of shuffling throughout the entire season, even when, we're seeing a lot of drama just here between week 1 and 2. But we're going to take a look now at our slate upcoming for week 2, our schedule. Look at that beautiful graphic. Look at this schedule that we got. People are calling this rivalry week, and a few of the rivalry games we're going to touch on here real quick. I think the first one is El Clasico, the first ever El Clasico in the European League of Football. Barcelona Dragons, who won their debut last week against the newly formed Madrid Bravos. Guys, what do we think about this one?
This is the game I'm probably most excited for this week, just because we haven't seen two Spanish teams play against each other in this league. I've actually never seen two Spanish teams ever play against each other. So I'm curious to just see what the vibe is like in that game, or if it's going to be more chippy or what, because I just don't know a lot about the Spanish guys. I know that Barcelona guys are they're pretty chippy, and the fans are awesome, and so I'm excited to see and hear from those who are there what the fans are like, because I feel like that could be a pretty awesome atmosphere.
Yeah, we saw the fans in Barcelona the last few years bringing the drums to the game, the favelas, making some awesome noise supporting their team. So I'm excited to see Madrid's version of that. I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere, and hopefully the first of many classic El Clasico games moving forward.
Absolutely. And we're going to do our pick'ems here a little bit later, so we're not going to say yet who we think is going to win this game, but this one's sure to be an exciting one. Then we have got the battle in Austria, Vienna Vikings and the Tyrol Raiders. This is an iconic European football matchup. These teams have been playing each other for years. Interesting fact, since these teams have joined the European League of Football, the Raiders have not beaten the Vienna Vikings, and they're really looking to do that this year. We know the Raiders have sort of a different setup, different coaching staff, different key players, different quarterback, and they're hoping that this year is the year they can beat the Vikings in the ELF. What do you guys think? Is this going to happen?
Yeah, hard to put them above the Vikings right now. Vikings looked really good in week 1 against a better team than the Raiders played. I think the Vikings at home, I heard there's over 8,000 tickets sold for this game already. So with the Vikings crowd behind them, I think they're going to get the win at home.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't see any reason at this point. The only way I see the Raiders winning this game is if they get a few turnovers early and they could get that momentum and kind of ride it out. But I think just overall, the bottom line for Vienna is a higher bottom line than the Raiders.
Yeah. An interesting point. Also, they're saying in the chat, Vienna signed Reese Horn this week, kind of an ELF icon. This is a very high-quality wide receiver, and so that's going to probably play a big factor as well, already with Vienna having, really talented wide receiver Jordan Bua, who went off for 3 touchdowns last week. And we cannot forget Alex's favorite player, Ben VP, Ben Holmes, who started off his European League of Football career with a nice W. So we'll make our official picks in a little bit, but this one's sure to be awesome in the Generali Arena. Hopefully they can get over 10,000 there Like you said, Alex, I think over 8,000 tickets already sold. That's an awesome stadium. And then our last one of the rivals here that we're going to touch on, the reigning champion Rhein Fire versus the Frankfurt Galaxy. Another situation similar to the Austrian matchup. Galaxy is a team that has not defeated the Rhein Fire in the ELF yet. They are 0-6. It's been kind of a real tense point there. And the Galaxy made it a point this offseason to rebuild their roster to be able to go up against the Rhein Fire. What are your guys' thoughts about this one?
I think it's going to be a really exciting game, man. I think the matchup just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, like you said, we're not going to talk too much about the picks right now. We'll get those later, but I'm just excited for what both of these teams are doing. These two teams right here, everybody love them or hate them. You got to love the fact that they are really helping the game grow. These two teams and fan bases are probably setting the example for what everyone else wants to do or should do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to see the Galaxy kind of debut their 2024 team. We know they went through some major changes, like Luke Zarate, quarterback, Sandro Platzcomer at running back, and also Markel Castle, the best wide receiver in the ELF last year. So sort of a three-headed monster on offense. No tune-up game for them. They go right against the champs. So we'll see how they do against a very good defense.
And we saw them coming out with some heat on Instagram today. They are going to be playing in the camo Bundeswehr uniforms. You should check those out on Instagram. Those are pretty sweet. So that's going to be looking pretty good on the field as well. So those are kind of the three big rivalry games we're going to touch on here. But now we are going to, I believe, move into our official pick'ems for week 2. Us just very sophisticated ELF experts. We know, everything about this sport, and we're going to pick very accurately, as we always do. Right, Silas?
Always.
All right. Game 1, Stuttgart Surge versus the Wrocław Panthers. This is in Poland. The Surge are leaving to go on the big 14-hour bus trip. Who do we got in this one? We'll start with you, Silas.
I'm going with the Panthers.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Panthers, man. That is a long trip to Poland, man. And traveling is tough. I think the Surge are significantly different on the road than they are in a home environment. It's the beginning of the season, so I don't see them like necessarily really throwing their whole body on the line for this game. It's not the end of the year. I don't know. I don't see. I think the Panthers are having that home field, having what they have. I just think they have the edge, even though it says 86-14. I think it's a little lower than that. And honestly, I want to see an upset. I want to see another team rising in the East, and so that there's not just the Rhein Fire, Surge, Frankfurt, but there's now another big dog, and I'm rooting for the Panthers on this one.
Here we go, Alex.
Yeah, I'm actually going to join Silas. I'm going to go Panthers as well. I think, while the Surge might go farther in the playoffs than Wrocław, I think Panthers really have a chance to get the upset here. Surge coming off a emotional win. Maybe this is kind of a letdown game for them after that long bus ride. And AJ Wentland, guys, had an amazing game shutting down the run last week. He could shut down the Surge's run with Kandar, and it could be a low-scoring game for the Surge offensively.
Look at you guys. How could you guys do this to me? How could you go against the Surge?
You need to be objective for once in your life, Nick.
All right. If I'm being objective, I go tight game. Possibly, I think, the Panthers had a really high-scoring game. What did they do, 49 points? I think this could end up being a low-scoring game. A lot of good defense played. Surge win. And that's objective. If I'm being subjective and biased, I might say something even more reckless. So I'm over there on the alone with the Surge. The boys are going against me. Sorry, Coach Newman. I got your back. All right.
I love Coach Newman. I'm going with the Panthers.
All right, there we go. So now we're going down to Spain. Barcelona Dragons, Madrid Bravos, El Clasico. We talked about it just a little bit before. Now we're going to make our official picks. Silas, give us your wisdom. Who wins this Spanish matchup?
This game is in Madrid?
Yes.
This game is in Madrid?
All right, then I'm going Madrid. If it was at home in Barcelona, I'm going Barcelona, but I'm going Madrid. I think from what we talked about with I can't remember. Who did we interview from Madrid?
Willie Patterson.
Yeah, when we interviewed Willie, and he talked about how they just like got all that Spanish talent and they all went there and they all left their leagues and went there. I said, okay, we're going Madrid. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Madrid.
Silas with Madrid. Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, once again, Silas and I, we're on the same page. I'm going with the Bravos as well. I think in their first ever game, there are going to be a ton of fans there. I like Chris Helbig at quarterback. Like you guys said, Willie Patterson, really dynamic playmaker on offense. And there's just going to be a lot of juice for the Bravos around their first ever game. So maybe that gets them over the top and get a 1-0 start to the season.
Guys, you're making me be Mr. Contrarian today. All right. If you asked me this last week, I would have said Bravos. But I saw flashes of stuff that impressed me last week with the Barcelona Dragons. Levi Lewis showing a little bit of magic there. I think that, the Bravos overall are going to be a better team and have a better season overall. But it's their first game ever as an organization. And yeah, they got a lot of the talent, but I did hear that they're struggling a little bit on O-line. They actually had to bring in 2 new European O-linemen this week, I believe. So they're coming off just one week with the team. I think that the Dragons sneak away and upset the party of the Bravos here in week 2.
All right.
You guys think?
I think that was a lot of talk with not a lot of substance.
I think there's a lot of substance. We're going to see. All right, moving on.
I'm going Vikings. We talked about it. They got a higher bottom line.
Alex, who do you got for Austria?
Reese Horn, Ben VP, Vikings at home. I'll take them.
Yep. Hey, on this one, I got to be with you guys. Although the Raiders did have a nice little smash over Milano on that opening week. The Vikings are just overall better team. Ben Holmes, and I don't think that this is the time where the Raiders beat them. We're all together there. All right. Central Conference matchup. Munich Ravens coming off of a kind of brutal loss, and the Milano Seamen coming off an even brutaler loss. Silas, is that a word or is it more brutal?
Ravens get their first win of 2024 season.
Yeah, I think classic get-right game, right, for the Ravens here after a bad week 1 showing. But we know they have a lot of talent. John Cole, Tomiwa Ayewu, Chad Jeffries. He's a vet, right? He's going to get the team back in order. So I think they have a nice comeback game against the Milano Seamen.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what they need after last week. I think they actually are going to end up just blowing out the Seamen. I think Milano has a lot of work to do. Silas, you got a lot of work to do. Didn't look great. Munich Ravens, I still think, are a very solid team. And so I'm with you guys. As is the consensus, 99% of people agree with us. There we go. And same in the chat. All right, moving out east. Berlin Thunder, Prague Lions. Silas?
Thunder.
Yeah, shout out to the 7% there, the Lions fans staying loyal to Prague. But, yeah, I'm with Silas again. I think, like we said, Jacob Sullivan had a great week 1. And the Thunder are just a more complete team at this point.
Yeah, I got to go with you guys there. The Berlin Thunder, I think, are going to end up being pretty solid, a little bit better than I thought they were going to be. Prague did have flashes of impressive points in the first week, and they're definitely improved and trending in the right direction, but not yet enough to beat a team like the Berlin Thunder. We're together on that one, boys. All right. This, a very anticipated team, Paris Musketeers, are playing our director-producer's favorite team, the Hamburg Sea Devils. Silas, what do we got here?
This is definitely the most difficult decision for me, for sure. On talent-wise, paper-wise, I think you got to go Musketeers, but they haven't played a game, and that's the part where I hesitate. But I'm still going to go with the Musketeers. I think that I think they have such a strong defense, like their defensive backfield, their DBs with Mace and leading them, and he's a homegrown. They got like 3 American level DBs. Like it's a loaded backfield. And then on offense, they got guys all over the field. Zach Edwards is a vet. He knows what he's doing. It's just, I think the Sea Devils are rebuilding, and the Musketeers are going to be coming off of a first season, which they played pretty well, but having their second season, that's two summers, 2 winters. It's like, that's a lot of time to prep. I think we're going to be really impressed with them.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this Paris team as well. Silas, you said it. They have some crazy team speed on defense at various levels. And offensively, they bring their quarterback back for another season with Zach Edwards. We know what he can do with a new target like Austin Mitchell. They're kind of a dark horse team, right? Tim has them number 4 in the league. Maybe we see them make a big jump from year 1 to year 2, and I might start this weekend with a convincing win.
Yeah. After seeing what happened with the Ravens this opening week, I feel a little less confident about the Musketeers, because I've kind of been thinking about both these teams similar as 2 second-year teams who were pretty solid last year, and everyone expected them to make big jumps for this year. But we saw, maybe it's not that easy. However, I do think that the Musketeers are still going to end up being about a top 5 team, top 5, top 6 team, even if this is their first game, and maybe they have some stuff to work out and some kinks to work out. I'm going Musketeers as well. All 3 of us on the Musketeers. Now, this next one is a very interesting game. The Fehervar Enthroners with our buddy Nathaniel Robitaille against the Cologne Centurions, who looked a little bit better than I think some people thought they would last week. What do we got on this, Silas?
I want to go with the Enthroners. I really do. I was really impressed with Roby going for 170 yards or whatever against a good Vikings defense. But being that it's in Germany, I'm going with the Centurions. I think home field advantage makes a huge difference, huge in Europe. You're crossing a country border to get to that game. That's a hard drive. The Centurions just got done playing the best team in the league. So that's their, that's what that's their standard for the 2024 season. Now they're going to go up against the Enthroners, and I think they're going to feel really confident when they're able to actually score.
Yeah, I'm going to take the underdogs here with the Enthroners. I think they're going to win this game. Jack Mangold played well last week. Like you said, Roby made some huge plays for them. And, yeah, I think they could take advantage of maybe Cologne that's a little bit beat up after playing the Rhine Fire in a physical game. Maybe Enthroners could pull off the upset on the road.
Well, maybe I should switch then, Alex, because we've been going this together the whole time.
Yeah,
you guys finally broke up.
Dang it, bro.
All right. Silas, I liked a lot of the points you said, and kind of my head wants to go with the Centurions, but my heart is going to go with the Enthroners this week. I was kind of impressed with Jack Mangle. He tied for the highest completion percentage of all quarterbacks last week, and obviously he's got that connection with Roby. It's going to be a long trip, but I think the Enthroners are trending in the right direction. I'm feeling a possible upset here against the Cologne Centurions. There we go.
Wait. Okay, switch me, Maxie.
There we go. We're rooting hard for the Enthroners.
Let me tell you why. What really switched it? All right. Marcus Kinst in the chat says it's Centurions, but his daughter says the Enthroners. And Marcus is like my a nemesis in this chat. We've never met. But anything that guy goes for, I'm going to the opposite. I'm going with your daughter, Marcus. And we're going Enthroners all the way. That's all I needed. Come on, Roby. Come through for me.
Let's go, Big Robes. Let's go. Make us look smart, Robes. Come on. All right, we're all with the Enthroners on that one. Sorry, Marcus. You created a rivalry with Silas, and now he's on our side with the Enthroners. Now to the last game. Big one. Frankfurt Galaxy, the Rhine Fire. A very interesting rivalry. Who do we got on this, Silas?
Where's the game? Is this that big stadium?
It is at Frankfurt, and so far at least 11,000 tickets are sold so far.
I'm going with the Fire. I mean, if this was Luke's second year at quarterback for the Galaxy, I would go with the Galaxy. But this is his first season with them. That guy's been with Milan for 45 years. And now he's starting with the Galaxy. It's a brand new team. It's going to take some time to build up. But then I think Coach Tomasula with the Rhine Fire he knows what he's. I think he's got a game plan that's. Yeah, I don't see that happening just yet. Maybe later in the season, but not right now.
Yeah, like you said, that Rhine Fire defense is so opportunistic. I think they could get an interception or a fumble return in this game against the Galaxy, who are still working out the kinks on offense and have a lot of playmakers that need the ball. So I think it might take the Galaxy a few weeks before they really hit their stride. So I'll take the Rhine Fire.
Yep. Got to go with that, with the Fire as well, boys. I mean, I think that Frankfurt has done a lot of good work in the offseason to position themselves to eventually beat the Galaxy, to eventually beat the Fire. But it's not going to be in this first game. I think they got to get some time to click. They've got the talent to do it, I think. And so later in the year, I would be more apt to choose the Galaxy over the Fire. But for this opening game, we got to go with the reigning champ. Silas, one more piece of information that we've got in the chat. Marcus now says that we agree on the Fire winning at least. Do you want to change your decision?
Yeah, screw that guy. Give me Galaxy. Give me Galaxy, Maxie. Thank you.
There we go. We are running a passionate show of expert football breakdowns with legitimate reasons for our decisions. Those are our picks, guys. They are locked in. Good job, us. Now, we're going. There we go, Maxie. All right, let's see if I can do this right. We are now going to be going into our hot takes of the week. And you guys know what's good for hot takes? A Ninja Woodside Outdoor Electric Grill.
Mehr Zeit im Freien mit der Ninja Woodfire Family. Bessere Partys mit Pizza unter 3 Minuten. Freie Tage genießen mit Gerichten, die mit bis zu 370 Grad geröstet wurden. Bessere Wochenenden mit authentischen Smoker. Bessere Campingausflüge dank gegrillten und frittierten Leckereien. Turniertage werden besser mit gesmokten Grillwürsten. Grillabende besser nutzen dank der App-Steuerung. Draußen wird besser mit Ninja.
That looks good.
Look really at that, boys. Ninja Woodfire Grill. There we go. So, guys, we have prepared our little hot takes for this week 2. Guys in the chat, if you've got a hot take, put it in there for us, and we'll see what it's like. We're going to discuss our hot takes. Silas, will you please kick us off with your hot take for week 2?
Dude, hot take. Devin Burrell scoring 2 special team touchdowns against the Stuttgart Surge. That's a hot one because Stuttgart they run a tight ship all the way around, including special teams. But I've seen Devin Burrell in person, and He's fast. And with that new kickoff rule, it's a lot easier to score touchdowns on a kickoff with that new rule. And here's also a solid argument here. If he's getting a lot of opportunities to score a touchdown on a kickoff, that means that Stuttgart is going to be scoring a lot, which I also agree with that. I think Stuttgart will score a lot, but I think that means more opportunities for Devin to score a touchdown on kickoff.
Hey, I mean, it hurts me personally. It hurts me, but I like the take, and I think that Devin, man, that dude is explosive. He's scary with the ball in his hands. So, I won't say whether I agree or disagree with the take. Legally, I cannot due to contractual obligations, but it's a nice take. So it's a nice take.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, 8 kick return touchdowns last year. So, he's due for one already in week 2.
Real quick from Alex, before we take your hot take, ELFpedia said, hot take, at least one commentator will again sound as if he has a hot potato in his mouth and is doing some important business while speaking into his 1997 microphone. That's a pretty good roast on the commentators. We touched on it on Monday. The league is working on getting the technical difficulties figured out on the commentators for the games. So hopefully there's no more hot potato action.
Look what Marcus said. Read that from Marcus.
Well, let me find it. Thanks, Bob. We agree on the Fire winning. That fan in the background is the only one Silas has left.
Damn.
Yeah,
hey,
bro. That's
you
good. At least I have
there.
one. All right. At least I have one. You have 0. All right, Marcus, 0. Not even your daughter. You can't even convince your daughter to be your own fan. All right.
His daughter did not align with him on his decision.
Oh my gosh.
We're
gonna now if you gotta be there the day in film whenever I confront Marcus in person at a game.
I can't wait for that. Wait, I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
I want to jump this guy.
Silas versus Marcus. Start putting that on the schedule. Silas versus Marcus for week 3. All right, Alex, what is your hot take from the Ninja Woodfire oven?
All right, my flaming hot take is that newly signed Reese Horn will score 2 touchdowns for the Vienna Vikings in their rivalry game this weekend. In 20 games, Reese Horn has 19 touchdowns, so basically scores a touchdown every game that he's played in the ELF. He can be a red zone target. And I think they're waiting for that American receiver to step up. And Reese Horn, he knows Vienna. He's played there before. He's just been around the block. He's done it all. I think he does well in his debut once again.
Like that, Alex. And don't forget who's throwing him the ball.
MVP, of course.
MVP, baby. MVP. He's going to throw him through 2 touchdown passes. I like that one. From the chat, Jamal says Austin Mitchell with 150-plus receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Could be interesting. That's very possible. He's a speedster.
That's a good take. That's a good take.
Yeah, that's a good take. And then Mace 2K, hot take. Zarodka will have a hard time getting the ball out, and Castle will be below 100 yards. What do you guys think about that take?
Dang, bro. That's a solid take, man. I think that's a solid take. I wouldn't disagree with that. For sure, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think Luke has never seen the Fire defense, and that's going to be a game changer for him.
Yeah. I mean, that Fire defense is so fundamentally sound and athletic. So I definitely could see them holding the Galaxy to under 20 points in this one.
Very fair. Mine is real. I'm just trying to create anticipation for mine, Silas. It's the storytelling technique. So I'm reading everybody else's first. Balu says Dragons will go 2-0. I agree with that as well. My hot take, with all of my football expertise, is Jack Mangle, the quarterback of the Färöer and Thronos, will be the MVP of week 2. as they go on to defeat the Cologne Centurions, which I also submitted as my hot take. But Maxie, our producer director, said it actually wasn't hot enough. So there's my super hot take. Jack Mangle, MVP of the week. What do you guys think?
Wait, what was the original?
My original was just that Fehervar will beat Cologne, which I still stand by. I still stand by. Is this too hot?
I like this, that the Enthroners win is sort of like medium level hot. I think this is like 5 chilies hot that Jack Mangle will win MVP of the week. Has there ever been an Enthroners MVP of the week? I don't remember one. So hopefully Jack Mangle can make some ELF history.
Yeah.
Make me look.
It's a hot take.
Coach Smart, yeah, his take. No Tour, the wide receiver rookie from Vienna, will score his first touchdown in the ELF, catching balls for 100 plus. So we've got Reese Horn and Noah Tour scoring touchdowns from Ben VP on these hot takes.
Love it.
Man. Love it, guys.
Good stuff.
Hey, that's what we got. That's what we got going into week 2 of the ELF. Which game are you guys most excited about?
For me, I'm most excited about El Clasico in Spain. This is going to be hopefully the first of 150 games between these two teams in the new, maybe classic rivalry of Spanish football in the capital city. Can't wait to see a new atmosphere and a totally new team to the ELF as well. It's always exciting. So, and just football in Spain on Saturday night. What more do you have to say?
Yeah, that's exciting. I think that
love it. Silas?
That game for sure. I split El Clasico, and I really want to see how Paris is, what they're all about. I really want to see if they can figure out how to utilize all that talent. If they can, golly, they could be really good.
Nick, how are you feeling about the Surge Panthers game?
I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a very good, hard-fought game. I still, I think I'm going with the Surge. You know me. I think these are two of the best teams in the league, and I think it'll be interesting to see. I got Surge on this first one, and I think who knows what it'll look like later in the year. But I'm going with that. And then for me, I'm also so excited for the Rheinfire Galaxy game. I'm so curious to see Luke with Sandro Platzkammer and Markel Castle at Frankfurt Galaxy with those wild camouflage uniforms. It's going to be cool. It's going to be looking good. There we go, guys. That's our show. That's
good
what we
stuff.
got.
Good show, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to just get the Game Pass going with 4 games going out one time. That's going to be fun.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro. It's going to be a fun weekend of European League of Football. European League of Football. That's what I was trying to say. All right, guys, chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, listening to our nice hot takes and our picks.
Absolutely.
Really fun.
Remember, we appreciate every single one of you. Obviously, that excludes Marcus, but the rest of you keep coming back. We hope that you will just keep joining us as we help grow the game. Love y'all.
Yeah,
there we go. All right, everybody.
See you guys.
See ya. Bye.